So I'm currently in Las Vegas. I'm standing outside enjoying the beautiful, beautiful sun and the weather. And I kind of want to talk about my flight and the experience that I had coming over here. The first time I got on the flight, like on the way from DC to Vegas, I always sit by the window because I really just love sitting by the window. I don't plan on getting up, so I don't have to worry about that. And I have a little bit of a privilege where I get to pick first seat just because of the company that I keep when I'm traveling. And that's really nice. So I sat by the window, and what did I do? Oh my goodness, I wrote music. Yes, I love writing music in the air. It's so different from writing music when you're on the ground, and I'm such like an obsessive artist. if I could describe my way, like my method to my madness, it's improvisation and obsession. I like to just listen to the same thing over and over and over again, because the truth is I feel like with instrumentals there's already words on there. It's just about realizing them and being able to script something that isn't like a sound that you can hear with your physical senses. I wonder what the wind sounds like on the microphone. It's okay, like I'm sure you can hear me. We're just chatting, So I only had 6 instrumentals like downloaded on my phone. So I just listen to the same instrumentals over and over and over, and I just write. And I kind of told myself that I wouldn't write any more songs unless I'm on a plane, like unless I'm flying in the air, because I think maybe that's my process. It's just different up there. I don't have a mind up there. It's nice. And so that's what I did the first time. I wrote, and then the second time I read, and I was sitting by this man, and at first I thought he was a freaking redhead, and then the light came on and he's blonde. And he had on this really nice watch, and his teeth were like freaking pearly white. Oh my goodness. And I didn't really say anything to him except like, hey, like I think your watch is cool. And that was about it. And I got to read The Antichrist. It's a book. Now listen, with me and reading books, I don't hold myself to any kind of standard when it comes to reading books, because I'm not a logical reader. I'm not a logical observer. I can be logical. I'm very, very practical and objective. It's just that when I'm reading, I could read a book, read a few pages, not look at it for like 3 years, come back to it, and just continue reading like I didn't have that pause. And that's what this Antichrist book is by Friedrich Nietzsche. I want to make sure I say that man's name correctly. It's so good. Oh my goodness. When I first discovered it, I was exploring this concept of the Antichrist and what that meant to me as a brown-skinned female living in 21st century America, modern culture, lifetimes. And I feel like mostly what it does is just validate everything that I already know. His arguments are really, really aggressive in the book, so I feel like if you're a hardcore Christian or like big dog Catholic, yeah, dude, this is not the book for you. You're gonna be super, super offended. Just that if you have an open mind, there's some really beautiful points that he makes about Christianity and, everything in life that comes from an external source should always be taken with a grain of salt, because the most pure nutrients in terms of knowledge is always from within. And so I have this Starbucks coffee that I'm drinking right now. Starbucks actually has crack in their coffee. Like, okay, let me not say that. No, but I think it's true. Like, whatever their coffee is doing to me It tastes different than every other coffee. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, I apologize. Like, maybe they don't have crack in their coffee. It's just that it just tastes different, you know what I mean? It's really good, just super strong, and the flavor is so potent. I mean, like, that's the quality of, like, name brand coffee, you know? Especially, like, big name, like Starbucks, who's out here getting them coins, okay? Getting them coins for that coffee bean. Okay, I'm getting a little bit, like, going on a tangent. Let me rewind. I want to record inside. It's just that they have music playing everywhere. Like, the casino has music. All the restaurants have music. The hotel is huge. Oh, my goodness. We're staying at the Mandalay Bay. It's a really, really nice hotel. Or like whatever this is, and it's really beautiful. It's just that they have music playing everywhere. There's no quiet spots, so I really can only really record outside, and that's cool with me. I need some fresh air and some sun anyway. So what was I talking about, like, before I went on this large I think I was talking about music. I was talking about music, and I was talking about who I am as an observer, and that I can't be obsessive. And and then I started talking about that man and his watch. Wait, I'm really trying to, like, trace my train of thought, like, swim backwards on my stream of consciousness that I just, like, floated down. I was listening to Dominic Fike. I woke up and all I could hear was his voice. That happens to me a lot whenever my body is craving, like, a certain frequency. I would just hear the music as if I have headphones on, even though I don't have headphones on. it's I feel like it's one of my psychic abilities and one of my gifts that, you know, the universe kind of gives me this sixth sense pair of headphones where I could literally tune into whatever song or frequency or station that the universe is, like, trying to get me to tap into. And this morning when I woke up, I just kept hearing Dominic Fike sing in my head. So I listened to Sunburn, and I understand why my body is like, yes, girl, listen to this man, because his melodies, it's the layers on layers on layers, and the fact that I can hear them. You know, some artists will have like mad layers. They'll have like 300 tracks, audio tracks, like, laid on top of each other, and you won't be able to tell, just because maybe just that's their precision, you know, that's their style. It's just that with Dominic Fike, I love that I can hear all of the different tones and voices and personalities that he has in his music. I love that, because I feel like that to me is vital. That is nourishing for me when I'm, like, listening to an artist's music. And I think before, when I first discovered Dominic Fike, I think it's just the way that I discovered him. It was very, like, mainstream, and like his like you know, just what, like, the world says about an artist. And it's just nice to be able to build a connection with an artist that isn't influenced by the mainstream or external sources. So whenever I start hearing, like, a musician's voice in my head, I'm like, oh, you like that music? Okay. Me to myself, oh, you like that? All right, I'll give you some of that. I'll tune into that for you. And honestly, I love that Sunburn is very childlike and still manages to touch on deeply, deeply substantial and dark and heavy subjects, and how you get to know really a lot about him. And I love his voice. His voice sounds like, his voice has, like, texture in a way that a tree has texture. You know, some people look at a tree and be like, what? All those bumps, all those imperfections, all those flaws, ew. And then there's me who looks at a tree and like, you're so beautiful, give me a hug. Like, that's me. That's how I feel about Dominic Fike's voice. Like if Dominic's voice... This is getting weird, bro. If Dominic Fike's voice was a tree, I'd definitely hug it, okay? And he's like mixing genres as well, and I love that. I love that he doesn't ever stay in one universe or stay in one dimension. He's like constantly switching, even throughout the music, throughout the songs. I really love that. And I think it just makes me happy. I love when I discover a new soundtrack, like, for my reality. And right now it's giving big Dominic Fike energy. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about Friedrich Nietzsche. And his Antichrist book. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And this concept of God. And while I was writing it, here's the thing. I'm a college student in my own way. The universe is my campus. Like, I'm traveling, exploring the universe. I'm a Taoist. I practice Taoism. And through my practice, I'm able to discover the universal quality of all religions. So I don't really shy away from anything, any concepts, really, because all is one. And I genuinely believe that there is none to ever fear because all is self. So when I'm reading this Antichrist book, I literally grew up inside of a Catholic church, like, went to private school, definitely a private Catholic school girl. Like, yeah, was definitely one of those. I'm not gonna hide it. And it does shape you. It does change you, and the way you think about life, the way you think about femininity and masculinity, the way you think about God and nature and sex and creativity. And reading this book makes so much sense. And he's talking about God. Okay, that's where I was going with it. I wrote down, that's why I started talking about college, because I do work even though nobody's asking me to do work. I'm doing work because I know that the universe has me on this path where I am a student, and I have to be willing to do things as if I were in college, or as if I were, like, studying something, or majoring in something, even though I'm really just journaling and doing some deep introspection and exploring my own psyche. So I wrote down this question in my journal. Actually, I'm gonna pull my journal out. I take my journal with me everywhere. I take my tarot cards with me everywhere, because honestly, people think I'm a little bit weird, and I think I have people are just judgmental sometimes. And I think the truth is, like, we live in a freaking universe, dude. A universe where people perceive multiple universes within this one universe. And I feel like if you don't have a map, you can easily get lost in your exploration of these multiverses and universes and stuff. And my tarot cards are my maps, and I have different maps for different dimensions, because not every map shows you everything. And I feel like if I don't have anything else with me, I'm taking my tarot cards and I'm taking a journal, something to write on a piece of paper, because I need that. Okay, so here's what I wrote. Well, I was reading the Friedrich Nietzsche book, and it kind of inspired this prompt, this stream of thought. And last night I was reading about the Hohokam, I believe that's how you say it, Hohokam Indians. And I was reading up on the Phoenix, how Phoenix, Arizona got its name, because it keeps calling me. Okay, so what I wrote in my journal, I said, how would you describe God to someone who is realizing this concept for the first time? And this is because in the book, he's literally breaking down just the nature of duality, this idea of God and devil. And so what I wrote down, I said, God cannot be a word. God is the discovery of silence as the natural volume for expression God cannot possess. And that's it. And then he started talking about love and how love, to some extent, is a necessary part of the experience of Christianity, and the way that love is used in order to manifest a faithfulness. And what I wrote down is that love is the acquisition of faith. Ultimately, I feel like if you're consciously seeking to believe in something, you, over time, have faith in it, that thing in which you believe. And even more than that, you believe in your ability to mold and sculpt your own beliefs. And I think that that's like a foundation, a layer of self-knowledge that the general population just isn't really aware of, the fact that you can actually choose your own beliefs. And the more that you choose your beliefs, you're actively manifesting and creating your own faith. I don't believe any faith is the same, even though religion tries to make it seem like, all people can conform to one thing and believe and think in the same way. I mean, to some extent, just because we live in a collective consciousness, yes, I think it is possible to experience a similar mind as another, especially if you guys subscribe to the same type of like religious practices. Still, I feel like everyone's faith is wired differently because no one human being is the same as another. And so I think faith is multi-dimensional. I think faith is like a beast that can only be mastered by its creator. And I think, it's like one of those sayings where they're like, oh, you created the monster, and now you got to deal with the monster, or something like that. Like what I'm trying to say, that phrase that people talk about when someone creates something unconsciously and manages to actually only give that creation the darkest aspects of themselves, and then they don't realize that all that they've done is manifested a reflection of their own duality. And it's probably like owning up, taking responsibility for the darkness within you. It's nothing to be ashamed of, although we do live in a society where there are religions that exist that try to make it seem like darkness is a danger, that darkness, that the natural darkness, right, that is our nature, is a sin, is wrong, and I just feel like darkness should be embraced just as much as the light. We need both equally and wholeheartedly. And that's what practicing Taoism has allowed me to realize within myself. And I'm still working on the book. I'm a sporadic, spontaneous reader. And like 9 times out of 10, when I go back to read the book, I'm not going to finish where I left off. I'm just going to open up to whatever page I land on and read it, because I feel like everything is divinely placed. So if I end up in a specific place at a specific time doing something, I am under the impression that is the only moment I should be experiencing. It's the only thing I should be doing. It's the only person I should be being, because I truly believe in divine order. And I love the weather right now. It's not like super hot, The wind is warm. It's warm. Well, I'm also drinking this coffee that's kind of getting a little bit cold. I don't like drinking cold coffee. I would literally rather pour the whole cup away than to freaking put it in somebody's microwave and heat it up. Like, that's just not a vibe, dude. That's not a vibe. Straight up. And they have this like huge black pyramid right here. I should go on Google, kind of figure out what that is. It's really cool. And I wouldn't say I get insecure. I don't think it's an insecurity. I just think it just makes me hyper aware of myself, hypersensitive to my own existence when people like give me a lot of attention. Like people who I would consider strangers. Not that they're strange, just that they are not really knowns yet in my reality until they are. And this purse brings me so much attention, and I keep wearing it because honestly it's freaking cool, and I like how it feels when I wear it. And I feel like the fact that it's bringing me so much attention, I think maybe it's preparing me for like the next stages and cycle of my life. That's why I'm not fighting it. That's why I'm not resisting it. And I keep getting these messages that I don't need to fight any of my feelings away, and I haven't, period. Okay, I don't know when my menstrual is coming because I don't do that like calendar stuff like I used to when I first started. Because when you're first getting your menstrual cycle and you're a little girl, everybody's going to tell you how to experience it. And so, you know, it's kind of inevitable to document your cycle and, you know, like be super calculated. I was gonna say the word anal. Oh my goodness. Be super calculated about it and like try to figure out when the first drop is gonna come, when the last drop is gonna come, and like what's going on. Oh, cramps, oh this or that. And you know, it's just like super structured, and I'm just like, man, forget all that, bro. Whenever it comes, I'll know. I'm deeply intuitive in that way, and I prefer to live my life in a way where I'm not trying to be God and just know when everything is happening. I feel like my body knows herself better than I know her, and that's our relationship. I have to be willing to love her and communicate with her and just be open. And the truth is, the entire universe, like the moon, your body, your instincts, your senses, your intuitive guidance will literally say, hey girl, you about to start your cycle. And I feel like the more you just listen to yourself, you'll be in touch. Even though I understand everybody lives different lifestyles, and the way that I live my life may not be as practical to other people, still, I feel like I don't sacrifice anything that I know serves me in the highest ways. So, and I also just don't like treating my body like it's some kind of attraction or something that I'm like observing and like figuring out, what the way that I'm trying to describe this sounds so abstract. Still, I feel like being a woman is an abstract experience, you know. Also, I've been seeing some really beautiful men lately. So, oh my goodness, I just saw his face just like popped up in my head. I literally, they have a freaking tattoo shop inside the little like casino hotel like mixture thing concoction that they got going downstairs. It's like restaurants, a casino, and like mini shops, and like a hotel at the same time, and like a resort. And they call it a beach, even though it's not a beach. I don't like false advertisement, dude. I mean, the way, like, in my head, I didn't go on Google and look it up because I'm just really on a wave where, you know, I don't need to know everything. Everything is already known. So I'm just going with the flow, and I'll figure it out when it's in front of my face. So when I get here and I'm looking for a beach, it's not a freaking beach, dude. It's a pool. It's a pool. It's a freaking pool. I'm not really a pool kind of girl. I'm more like a let the freaking ocean consume my entire entity type of girl. I literally love allowing the waves to just consume me like entirely. And I love getting lost in the ocean because I know I'm always taken care of, and I always end up back on shore, like where I'm supposed to be. So I just like completely let go of any control, and I just go with the flow. So when I thought there was gonna be a freaking beach here, whole time we're in a desert, dude. Any beaches is gonna be man-made, and like, nah. Okay, where was I going? Oh, I was talking about the dude from the freaking tattoo shop. I didn't even know his name. Okay, I didn't ask him his name because I was kind of like just trying to see, because I have a couple things that I want to get done. I'm really trying to be super tatted up. I think tattoos are so freaking sexy, and I'm really trying to have like my whole, like the rest of my neck done, because right now I have my dragon on my right side, and I got like a half quarter sleeve going on. Like most of my forearm is covered. Though I am trying to get a leg tat. I already have them sketched. Like I drew them myself. And I think leg tattoos are so sexy. Like, especially on men. Especially when they're hard. Okay, well, the tattoos are hard. Like, when like it's a really fire like tattoo, I just think that's so cool. So I'm trying to get a lot of things done. Anyways, I'm trying to talk about this guy, okay? He had these like nose piercings, and he had these freaking tattoos, and I just thought he was so beautiful, you know? And I feel like I don't have the type of personality where I'm gonna consciously flirt with you and like try to hit on you. That's just not the type of person that I am, because I feel like socially I can be a butterfly in a platonic way. Like I'm a platonic social butterfly. I think in terms of romance and like, you know, flirting and stuff like that, literally if you try to flirt with me, it may go over my head completely and totally, because that's just not where I am consciously when I'm socializing with people, especially if I don't really know you. And it legitimately won't hit me that you're flirting with me until like 48 hours later, when I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, he was flirting with me. And then by then he's gone, and I didn't get his number or his name. And, you know, in that case, I just realized it just wasn't really meant to be, you know, if he wasn't really trying to like do it. And it's just like, no. If you're trying to flirt with me and like you're not sure if I'm interested, you may have to be like assertive and like direct with the fact that you're flirting, or else I'm literally just gonna think you're just a cool, like nice person who just felt like talking to me today. Anyways, so he was like talking to me, and I just love his vibes. He kind of made me a little bit nostalgic of Mac Miller, like low-key. And I just really liked his aesthetic. And one of the artists there, I actually really like. So I'm going to end up back there today and ask them like so many more questions. I'm also on the edge of getting a septum piercing. I haven't got a nose piercing since the last time I got my nose pierced. I think I had 2 piercings. At some point I had both nostrils pierced, and then I had a double piercing on one nose, and then before that I had 1. So I've had my nose pierced a plethora of times, okay? And so my pain tolerance is pretty high, just because I like it. I do. It's something medicinal and healing and meditative about the pain that comes from specifically tattoos, because I don't really get that many piercings. You know, I like the idea of a belly piercing. I just don't think it's my personality. I also like the idea of nipple piercings. Just the same thing. You know, I think that just because you like something doesn't mean it's really for you. That's something that I've learned at an early age, and I'm really, really proud of myself, because I think if you don't really know like your personality, you can be under the impression that other people's personalities is the same as your own, even though it's not. And you can end up like doing things that maybe like won't even be in character for you, and maybe it feels good in the moment, and then like years later you're like, bro, what the heck was I doing? What in the world? So yes, I'm thinking about getting a septum. I think it'd be kind of cool. I wonder how long it'll last. It may be like 3 months, and maybe like 3 years. It could be for the rest of my life. Who knows? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force it. I do want to try it though. So that's where I am in my life. Okay. Right now, okay, let me actually talk about what I'm doing in Vegas. Where I'm at a convention. It's huge freaking convention with all these like big like companies, all this money and stuff, and they all get together and, you know, just talk about money. Talk about money and investing, and like, you know, big like corporate, big rich people energy, like, you know, that just got money to blow and talk about business all day, and then have like parties and get drunk. You know, really, that's why I'm here. I'm here for the free liquor and the free food and just, you know, the vibes. Maybe I'll meet me like an older man, because I'm probably gonna be the youngest person there. Yo, oh my goodness, that's what I wanted to say. Like, I love men. That's what I was saying earlier. I was saying how many beautiful, gorgeous men that I freaking have seen so far, and I'm just like God really did that for real. Like, infinite gratitude to the Most High for the creation of the freaking species of man that is here walking this earth. Y'all are so freaking beautiful, and I love y'all so much. Like, though I can say, when I got to the airport, yo, this man had an attitude, and he was this like black man, like, and you know, sometimes like people will do that thing when you're like the younger person. They'll tell you to like stand in line, even though they don't give you any materials or means to be prepared for when you're like the next person in line. You're just kind of standing there like, okay, well, what do I do like when they call my name? So that happened to me. I'm 22 and that's still happening to me. It's okay. It's totally fine though. Totally fine. So I'm holding like this like duffel bag, right? And I walk up and I place it on the thing, and the man is like, he's like, so y'all just I'm laughing about it now, but in the moment, oh my goodness, I could have turned into the devil. Like, he had me so heated in like pure rage. I could have like ripped him to shreds, though I didn't. I kept my cool. He was like, so y'all just every time I do the voice, it makes me geek. Okay, so y'all just want me to wait for y'all, and just y'all just in reality, he didn't even like have anything to say. I think he just wanted to be nasty. Maybe he was having a bad morning, and you know what? I wasn't even gonna turn it into a bad morning for him, because if I had gave him all the energy that I was feeling in that moment, whoo, oh my goodness. And you know what, once I felt my blood reach a boiling point, I just walked away, and I was like, you know what, this man has an attitude, and I'm not in a space to deal with a man that has an attitude. That's not it, not at this space, not at this time, not where I'm like in the super emotional state. I'm like low-key still grieving the death of someone that I really love. So I'm really like, if you poke me, you might get a super like bear freaking roar, and things might be over. Like, might turn into Leonardo DiCaprio in freaking The Revenant. Although the bear is gonna win this time because I'm gonna be the bear, okay? Just wanna let y'all know, okay? I don't play with men's that got attitudes. I don't play with men's that are nasty in terms of, you know, just being mean and rude and aggressive and ignorant. Like, bruh, calm down. Life is peaceful. Like, if you don't like your job, you need to like go sit down, meditate, and pray on your life decisions. Because why are you working at an airport if you're gonna not like working at an airport, my guy? You know what I mean? And I get it, you know, people gotta do what they gotta do. It still doesn't matter. Like, I feel like we should be doing our best to be as happy as we possibly can. And I just didn't like the energy that he gave to me, because I was really about to like give him big devil, big Capricorn like energy, and he wasn't gonna like it. And I feel like that's the thing about me. I don't like bringing the devil to surface. I like to keep my inner devil 3 steps, like 3 feet behind me, because if I keep the devil in the present moment, like in the now, all hell would be raised. And I just don't want to live that life. Like, I personally believe that the ugliest parts of myself are meant for me to see and for me to love and own and be responsible for. Because I feel like the world doesn't deserve to know what my wrath feels like. That's A. And B, also, I just feel like it's a really intimate like version of myself, a very sensitive version of myself. So I just like to keep my inner devil within and like just love and caress on that just freaking angry, like potentially vengeful and just otherworldly entity inside. Like, somebody knows what I'm talking about. Also, because I'm a Capricorn, like, we are depicted as the devil across many different like religions and like ways of life. That's how Capricorns are kind of like universally perceived as the devil, and I understand it. It's true. I feel like me coming to know myself as a Capricorn, oh my goodness, that's why I like to just be the most gentle version of myself. You hear my voice? Like, I like to just be like this, because this is who I am naturally, in my natural state. I am peace, I am calm, I am harmony. And in reality, like, I feel like it's an injustice to my world to release my wrath upon you all. Like, truly. that wrath could really like destroy an entire conscience and like fully murder someone's ego. And that's not nice. People need their conscience and they need their ego. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this person is still gonna like live their life after their interaction with me. And I don't want the one time that I release my rage to like turn them into a freaking sociopath. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I have the potential to do that. And simply just because I have the potential, I don't even want to turn it into a reality. So I really work on maintaining and mastering myself so that I have control. And just like in the airport, in those moments, I can recognize when someone just has not mastered that part of themselves. And I can be aware and I can realize my abilities and my way and who I am, and be like, you know what? I could really end you right now. I'm not going to. Why? Because life is eternal, man. And I'm not about to do it to you. I got so much grace, divine grace and divine favor, truly. And at the end of the day, you're not even really mad at me. You're not even really upset with me. You got something going on, like, and I can be empathetic to you. I can be compassionate. Truly, that's how I feel in general. You know what I mean? And also because I'm a brown-skinned woman, so my world kind of already may perceive me to be the devil just naturally, just because of the entity and the power that I hold just by being brown, just by being a woman, and just because sometimes I can be perceived as beautiful. I also carry around tarot cards, so that is another thing that sometimes makes people fear me. And that's okay. Maybe it's good for them. So I don't try to fight it. Being a tarot reader has definitely created so many boundaries in my life, especially with the people that I love. So I don't expose that part of myself to everyone, because I know everyone isn't accepting and open and willing to receive like me and that part of myself. And I just love the universe, truly. So I only want to submit to the universe because I believe in it. And so recently I've been on this adventure, right, where I had a dream. It like that middle stage. Whoa, there's like something flying overhead. It's a helicopter. Hey guys. I've been on this thing where my inner voice, I woke up one day and I heard improvise. Like, do it. That's your skill. That's your talent. That's your gift. Basically, nature telling me, like, hey, you think that there's some kind of, like, you think that there is a way how reality should be created, or how things should go. Well, there's a lot of loud noises. Sometimes when I'm talking and loud noises come, it makes me feel like a little bit down, and I can start to like suppress my ideas, even though it will pass. Maybe I just need a little bit of a breather. And so improv, that's actually my style of making music. I don't really like planning out and blueprinting a song. I like just going in and just doing whatever happens in the moment. And recently I've been getting confirmation from nature that me improvising is equivalent to, like, it holds the same vibration. My improvisation holds the same kind of value as someone who is actually following a whole 3-dimensional blueprint. And that in a way nature is relying on me as the child, of God, of the universe, relying on me as the child to lead the way. Ultimately, that's what I've been learning, is that children and the like inner child within ultimately hold the keys to prosperity. And I feel like nature follows the child, and I feel like we've been under the impression that the child follows nature, although I don't think that is true to the nature of reality. I think that innocence is what manifests consciousness, and I feel like the purity that a child has and what they would do instinctually, is that a word? What they would do intuitively, I think is considered like method and calculated to a greater mind, because it isn't premeditated necessarily. And so I feel like nature is just following me and seeing what I would do. And I feel like because I've been sitting and waiting around so long for someone to tell me what to do, waiting for some kind of blueprint, that's why a lot of the things that I feel like, whoa, a lot of the things that I just saw this man with like these A$AP Rocky braids. That's really cool. Side note, okay, squirrel moment. come back, rewind real quick. Yes, improv. Okay, that's what I was talking about. I was saying that, yeah, I feel like because I've been waiting around for someone to tell me what to do, that's why nothing has really been happening, because ultimately the universe is waiting for me to take the first step, because I feel like the universe trusts me, because I've worked on it. Like, I've built that. The relationship that I have with my faith and that I have with my most high self is to the point where I feel like they trust me more than I trust myself at times, and I feel like I'm supposed to rely on that knowledge, rely on that belief, because I feel like it's what actually makes things go forward, rather than just sit still and, what's the word that I'm looking for? Complacent. Oh, there it is. Complacency. Complacency. You know, people talk a lot of bad crap about complacency, although I think it can be a very, very humbling and a liberating experience for the soul to go through being complacent, because I feel like it gives you something to break out of. I feel like we, like teachers and spiritual people, will, like, the advice that they would give is to try to hurry up and get out of complacency, and like try to hurry up and rush out of it. And I feel like, why? I feel like if you sit with it long enough, it will literally like deconstruct itself and reveal to you all of the boundaries and limits and doors that you've manifested yourself, all of the obstacles that you've manifested yourself. And I feel like it's better to just allow it to naturally deconstruct, rather than trying to go in and figure out which piece of the Jenga puzzle to pull so that the whole thing will fall, you know. And I feel like allowing your complacency to naturally evolve into progression looks like choosing to intentionally not play the Jenga game, but to be an observer and observe the game on purpose. You know, no matter how many times people are like, hey, do you want to play? Do you want to play? You're like, nah, I'll just watch, so that you can see how it works. And, you know, the time taken to be an observer and to see how things are constructed, I feel like increases the time that it takes to manifest, because I feel like stillness is the highest form of action. I feel like it is the most proper action in action, like genuinely choosing to not partake in physical manipulation of your world in order to manifest your desires or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you know what I mean? I feel like stillness is the proper way to overcome every obstacle that you encounter in your life. So when it comes to complacency, I feel like the antidote is stillness, rather than anxiety and being anxious to get out of it. And so I feel like for me, the reward of not rushing out of my complacency and choosing to be still, and submitting to this placement that I'm in, me being like weighed down energetically by the universe, so that I sit still and I'm not trying to like get up and move. And that weight is maybe the unknown, the uncertainty of what to do. You know, that's like a weight. It can literally weigh you down and keep you from acting. And I feel like you can literally drive yourself insane. You can literally exhaust yourself trying to overcome the weight of uncertainty. And I feel like the best thing to do is just to submit to it. Let it press you down. Press down on it. And once you become the weight, like you realize the weight and you become the uncertainty, man. There's no force in the universe that you cannot master at that point. So realizing that my improvisation is not a flaw. my freestyling is not a flaw. Like, not even just with rap and with music, just the fact that I freestyle with life and that I end up creating these magical, amazing things. And I feel like that is beauty, that is a gift, that is an art. Like, that is art. You know, the magical appearance, you know, the unexplained phenomena of creation, and how things can end up perfect even though you put in absolutely zero like thought. I love that nature works that way. Okay, I'm gonna end this here and drink my last couple sips of coffee and go back inside and regroup. And I express infinite gratitude